Thanks for tuning in to GTO Good Old Boys. Buckle up and enjoy the show with your host, Paul Ponder.
Hey guys, we're down here at Waterfront. We got two special guests. First of all, let me tell you, I am Paul Ponder. I'm the host of the GTO Good Old Boys podcast, and I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Hope you'll have a great time. We're going to have a good time. We got Mr. Justin Lucas and his wonderful wife, Miss Breanna Lucas. They have swapped the kids off.
We did do that.
To Mama.
Yeah.
And Mama was glad enough. It was hard to get to her to keep them, right?
It's pretty easy.
Oh, it is?
Oh, she loves taking the kids.
I bet so.
Yeah.
I bet so. Well, how does Mama feel about her taking the kids?
Oh, she's great.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
Give
good.
us a little break.
Well, what we're going to do, Justin, we're going to start off with Breanna and find out how good a husband you are.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
I hear you.
All right,
That's
Breanna,
good.
how is it living with someone that's gone a lot?
Well,
We're getting right into it.
yeah. I mean, honestly, it can be tough at times, for sure. But, I mean, he's done this since we started dating, so this is all I know. And the off season definitely offsets the time that he's gone because it's really intentional time together as a family. And I don't know, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
That's a very good saying. That might stick to everybody.
Yeah.
Who knows? And the two young'uns,
Yes.
I bet they can get trying at times, can't they?
They can.
They can. And I can see that he's a family man because of what you just said, that the off season is special to you, right?
Yes, for sure. I'm glad he's not a hunter and gone doing other hobbies. Like he just sticks to fishing and then he's with us off season. So
Yeah, everybody tries to get me to hunt, and I'm like, man, if I pick that hobby up, it wouldn't be good for the family time.
There
So,
you go. Exactly. You and her
It's,
can start hunting when the kids is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And, maybe if our boy wants to start doing it at some point, being able to
Right.
spend that time together as a family. But I can't go off and hunt by myself, right now.
Right. And see, this is great. We want to find out what the real Justin Lucas is.
I hear you. I mean, I would kill something if I could.
No, sometimes
But-
you get to the point, I'm going to kill it or something's going to kill me.
I hear you. Like, I could do it, but at this point, I'm sticking to the grocery store and family trips to the grocery store.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's very, very special. And that's hard to find nowadays. How long have y'all been married?
be 12 years this October.
She had to think about that before we were coming in.
She was just
I don't
watching.
even know
asked
how
me-
old I am.
If he asked me that, 12 years, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're right.
There
It'd
you
be good to
go.
keep up with the boys' birthdays. So
I bet so.
It's-
gotta count real quick.
Are y'all done?
That's been a hot debate in the
Yeah.
house.
Oh,
the
really?
past few months.
Well,
I think we're on the same page back and forth, whether we want to do it or not.
I got you.
Depends
I
on
got
how the kids act that day. If we're like, oh,
Oh.
we don't know if we want to.
you. Some days it's heck no. And some days let's get two more.
Yeah, we I talk to a lot of people. I'm always asking. I've always been that way ever since I was younger. Like trying to pick people that are older than me, trying to pick their brains apart,
Right.
and get some knowledge and wisdom from them. And so I ask everybody that's older than me and has more kids than I do.
Right.
And of course, all of them say, "Oh, I would never give that one back."
Right. But I wouldn't give you a dime for another.
Yeah, some of them are like, but
Right,
I don't
exactly.
want another one. So we're tossing around the idea of a dog, maybe right now. So maybe make it 2.5.
There you go.
something like
I
that.
got you.
We'll see.
Where did y'all meet?
Well, that's a fun story.
Good. We're going
Yeah,
to get
go
it out
ahead.
of you. Tell us,
them.
Breanna.
Oh, I was in nursing school at the time, and he lived with Montevallo. He wasn't for sure if he was going to stay here for good or go back to California. And my stepsister actually met him first. It was when he was MCing for college fishing. Mm-hmm. So we had some mutual friends for that, and my stepsister, and they're like, y'all need to meet. I was like, I don't know. She's like, just add him on Facebook. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to add him, and I'll be done. And
Right.
then I think it was like my 21st birthday. I posted some pictures, and he's commented on a few, and I was like, oh, he's looking at my stuff.
This is great.
and then
Yeah.
and then he messaged me, and you were like in the Nashville airport. He was like, humor me while I'm in the Nashville airport. And he like left his number. And I was like, I don't call guys. I like handed him gave him my number. So he ended up calling me. And then I think we talked on the phone for like months before we actually met because he was traveling. I was in nursing school. Oh. But it was funny because a lot of the times he was like, I don't know. I think we got bad reception. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was really, he couldn't understand me because of my Southern accent. He was trying to be nice.
Well, how
There
sweet.
were times I'd get her going off, talking about something, and she'd get that pretty thick Southern drawl. And I would blame it on Verizon Wireless being in New Mexico, having bad service, and telling her I'd call her back. So,
and then you had to look up what the words meant.
Yeah, right? I sometimes just didn't even know what she was saying. But
that is
still
funny.
happens every now and then. But I can understand her a lot better now.
I think you've done real good.
I've done great. I mean, I intentionally moved to Alabama for fishing, and to try and make a career doing it. And little did I know, as soon as I moved here, shortly after I would meet her, and her sister, she showed me the picture of her, and I was like, I'm not trying to meet anybody. And then she showed me the picture, and I'm like, well, okay. And that was pretty much all she wrote. The thing with her, she was going to nursing school. I knew her family. She wanted to work in Huntsville. And she's from Crossville. So just so happens Lake Gunnersville's right in the middle of work and family for her. And that's where I was trying to move to from Montevallo. So it just kind of worked out perfectly. And then the first time I met her, we went on a date. The first time we actually met, we went on a date to Olive Garden. And high class, man.
Yes.
Fancy. But anyway, I told all my buddies, told my family, I'm like, I'm marrying this girl and I'm never coming back. And they're like, yeah, we'll see. I'm like, I'm telling you.
Yep.
And that was it.
I think my dad was pretty happy about that. He's like, now, California guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get you and move you all far away from us. I was like, no, he wants to live in Alabama. He's good.
This is home for me.
That is great.
I love it here. I can't even imagine moving anywhere else. Like,
and
I
that's
just
how
love it.
I've lived here my whole life, and for somebody to come in from California, and say that they love it like you just said, that is special.
Yeah.
That's special for you and I, Breanna.
Yeah, I don't even like saying it that much anymore because, I don't want everybody to move here. But man, the first time I came, I remember coming over the Montesano Mountain in Huntsville.
Yes,
dropped down into the valley. I'm like, this is a really beautiful place. And then we come around the 431 and I see Honeycomb.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, this is the deal right here. And you go, back then we went out and the fishing was unbelievable, which it's getting that way again, but it was really, really good. And I'm just like, yeah, this is the spot. This is the spot. So that's how I ended up here.
Well, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Guys, we're fixing to go on a short break. We've got Justin and Breanna Lucas here with us, and we're fixing to get into some more good things, and we're going to pick their brains. Y'all stay with us.
We'll be back with more GTO Good Old Boys after this.
Welcome to Waterfront Bay Cabin Rentals, located at 6989 Scottsboro Highway, right outside of Waterfront. You have a beautiful view of the wonderful Lake Gunnersville. We have 2 rentals for you to choose from. You have our cabins, which is your bigger option. They have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, full living room, full dining room, and a full kitchen. Those come with 2 covered carports with power for boat hookup. Our second option is our cottages, which are like a little hotel room. They have 2 queen-size beds, 1 bathroom, and a little kitchenette that consists of a microwave, a coffee pot, and a mini fridge. These come with 1 covered carport for your boat hookup. Give us a call at 256-444-5017 with any questions and to see about availability. Thank you.
Now back to more with GTO Good Old Boys.
Hey guys, we're back down here at Waterfront. We're with Miss Breanna and Justin Lucas. I want to tell y'all how much we appreciate y'all stopping in and taking this time out of y'all's life to to talk to us today.
It's all good. All good. Normally I stop in at the other store.
That's
so
it.
It's good to drive a little bit further.
Hey,
and get
it's a
in here
blessing
every
to
now
get
and
your tail down here.
then. I hear you. I hear you.
So, how do you like the MLF? You fish BASS and MLF both?
I fished FLW, BASS, and MLF. So I've been all over the place. I've done it all. I guess my short answer at the end of the day, I'm having fun. I'm making money, providing for my family. So, I'm enjoying where I'm at right now. And I think all circuits, FLW back in the day and Bass and MLF, they have good things to offer and they have different things to offer, So I'm having fun right now. Just trying to, that's my main thing, is trying to focus on having fun and not get caught up in when you do get, if you get in a spot where mentally you start getting down about something, there's there's so much, I hate saying negativity, but there's just social media in general, there's a lot of...
Sometimes it can be awful.
It can drain you. And so my thing is, and I'm one of those guys that I can get sucked into a rabbit hole and it'll drain me, and it's, my thought process now is like, life is short. This career is short. I'm 37 now. So my thought process is go out there, have a great time wherever you're at, enjoy what you're doing. And number one for me, and it has always been number one as far as a career standpoint, is catching fish, because I feel like I'm always going to have a job no matter where I'm at, as long as I'm fishing well. And I'm just too competitive to go out there and suck.
See, I don't see how you keep the mental attitude of, I don't see where you don't get doubt in there from time to time. And
I get doubt.
You do?
Yeah, there's
well, you
times.
Don't show it.
Well, there's times, you might go 2 tournaments in a row and not get a check or not make a cut or something. And it's, that's frustrating. But I think the last few years I've done a good job, especially this year in the off season, like focusing on fishing. Know that I can't sit there and get complacent or comfortable where I'm at. And I'm in that weird spot in their career where you're halfway done, still kind of on the young side, not quite on the older side. Hopefully have a lot of years ahead of me, and I want to be able to be competitive for several years to come. So I have a burning desire to do well in tournaments inside of me. It definitely, she sees it. She knows that. And, I'm just too competitive to even think about, getting comfortable.
You get comfortable, you get beat.
All day long.
That's it.
All day long. And if you get negative, you get beat,
Correct.
And so I'm trying to stay away from both of those and just have fun and enjoy it. And when I'm home, like we talked about, enjoying that family time too. So it's a balance. It's a heavy balance to try and manage. But I feel like we're doing a good job with it right now.
Y'all are doing a super job. And you said something real good right there about balance. If everybody had the right balance in their life with their spouse, with their kids, and with their job.
Yeah.
And your job's no different than a postman, other than you ain't got nobody behind you but your wife.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so the postman's got everybody out there, I want that letter, you know.
Yeah.
And so now he said something about getting in a rabbit hole. How do you get this man out of a rabbit hole?
I don't know. I mean, you're not that bad.
No, I feel like I do pretty good. I very rarely.
If he does, I don't know it. He doesn't show it much or talk about it.
I'm quiet.
Well,
I'm the one that has to ask a million questions to get him to start.
Does he ever look at you like, hush?
He's pretty chill for all the questions I have.
Well, that's good. That's good. You got him trained very well.
I should do a better. I got a note on my phone to communicate. I know women like communication, so
right.
And I have a couple notes in there as being a father, just stuff that I look through every day. So I try and do a good job communicating, but sometimes I feel like I just get so focused and dialed in on stuff that it's hard for me to do that.
Right, exactly.
But also being at that level that I'm competing at and trying to, run my business at, it is
correct.
Very focused. You got to be very focused on what you're doing.
Now, how do you keep sponsors? You have kept Berkeley since Berkeley's been here, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I used to work at a tackle store in California. That's how I got the first introduction, got my foot in the door. And then it didn't really become a big sponsor until 2014 when I made the Bassmaster Elite Series. And that's when that foot in the door opened the whole door up. at that point. And my main thing for my sponsors is just what do you want from me?
Right.
And I have that list on the phone too of all the things that I need to do, and every sponsor is different. Some sponsors, things that they want might not be the things that other sponsors want. And so you have to cater to each sponsor's needs.
Wow.
And so it's just it's really like a customer service type of thing. You just gotta serve them the way that they want to be served, and just always be professional. Never give them I don't ever want to give them a reason to doubt my ability to promote them and represent them out there on tour. So,
well, you do a very, very good job, Justin.
You.
It's second to none. You do great.
I appreciate it.
I don't see how you keep all your sponsors happy, because sometimes I know everything don't go your way.
Yeah. Well, I've been with so many of mine for so long now, and they're such strong brands in the industry. Phoenix, Yamaha, Berkeley, Abu Garcia. I can sit there and go down the list, and I have great relationships with them now. I just got back from the Bassmaster Classic. Like I told her, I said, even though I don't fish Bassmaster, it's important for me to go to this event. It's a very, very small amount of time and money. So very small investment from my part of time and money to go there and make an appearance and stop by everybody's booth that has a booth there to show them that I'm committed to them no matter what. So,
no matter where you are.
That's right. So it's just business, and are you running your business well? Are you treating your customers well? All of that. That's all I'm trying to do with my sponsorships and the fans, right? Because at the end of the day, staying in touch with social media and staying in touch with your fans, letting them know what you got going on as far as we do a lot of family stuff, quite a bit of family stuff on our social, showing them, our kids and everything. But it's a way for people to relate to you too. There's a lot of guys out there that are my age that would love to do what I'm doing, and they can relate to having kids, and all of that. Right. So I think it's cool to show them that. And, some people don't put their kids on social media, but I think it's important for people to see, because for the most part, 99% of the fishing business and the people around it and in it are awesome.
And that you're exactly right. 99% of the people in the fishing are very positive, and they're in a good mood.
Yeah.
I don't see them in a bad mood. It's not like
I'm in a weird industry where I don't want somebody to see my kids or something. So,
right. Be proud of your kids.
Yeah.
So what we got is we've got about one more minute, and what is the biggest change you've seen that social media has brought on?
Ooh, I would just say, as far as in professional fishing, it's taken. It used to always be about TV, tackle shows, and boat shows. That was it. And now it seems like it's all about social media, TV, then tackle shows and boat shows. So it's just number one right now. It's the easiest way to reach the most amount of people, and it's the number one focus for our business besides fishing well, and catching fish. Like I said, that's number one. If I'm not having fun catching fish and doing well in tournaments, the rest isn't going to do well.
That's exactly
so
right.
I have to have fun and be competitive, and then the rest kind of comes easier, I think.
Well, that's a great answer. Now, guys, we're fixing to go on another little break. When we come back, we're going to go with that FFS. See if y'all can figure that one out. We'll see y'all in a few minutes.
We'll be back with more GTO Good Old Boys after this.
Welcome to Eden's Energy and Protein. We are now open on Saturdays 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. until school is out. We offer T-bombs, protein shakes, coffee, shaved ice cream, banana splits, and last but not least, everyone's favorite, the most delicious milkshakes. Come by and see us. Don't miss out on a great sweet treat after a long day on the water. We are located right outside of Waterfront at 6955 Scottsboro Highway. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Eden's Energy and Protein. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
Now back to more with GTO Good Old Boys.
Hey guys, we're back with Justin, Lucas, and Breanna, and they are sitting here, and I have had a fantastic time. We've learned what Justin's all about.
It goes by too quick.
It does. It
go
flies by.
It does.
And Breanna, she's just as sweet as she can be. Got that pretty smile on. She's ready to go. I know why you reached out and grabbed her.
Yeah, now you see, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And she's she's an amazing wife. She's an amazing mother, and very lucky. Dude, there's no way I could compete at the level I do and do the things that, have had the success that I did without her.
That's
There's no
right.
way. So,
and I feel the same way with Jana, and I know she feels it with you. I can see both of y'all looking at one another,
Yeah.
and it looked like Cal Lane. We had Cal Lane and his future wife,
Yeah.
and they were looking the same way. So that is something special, and y'all ought to be proud to have that. And
we're looking
dead
at each other like
serious.
that after 12 years of marriage and 2 kids and building the house. So,
Gosh, y'all done a lot right.
If we're on our second building house, but so we've gone through a lot, and we love each other very much, and hopefully she feels as lucky as I do, but I sure do.
That's right.
So.
Guys, remember, that's a real man, what he just said. So, all right, let's go on with the FFS.
Yeah.
I'm going to let
topic.
you take it and run with it. Tell me
man.
how you feel like it's done to fishing, what it's going to do in the future to fishing, if it's a fad, if it's here to stay. Cover
I think
it,
at the end of the day, anything that I say towards that it's just my opinion, and it's
correct.
It's not what really might happen. So I've kind of taken this stance on it of stepping back and not really having much of an opinion. I use it, of course, because you have to at this level. I've won tournaments with it. I've been using it since 2020. I actually let go of the only sponsorship I've actually let go of in a long that I think I might ever have. Was an electronic sponsor I had in 2020, and it was at that time it ended up being a great decision because I won 2 tournaments that summer because I had switched, and bought my units that year and had forward-facing sonar. So I saw its use early on. I was an early adopter of 360 and did use that the year I won Angler of the Year. Brandon Polinick is, we were real tight when we fished together, and he showed me that, and I'm like, man, this is back like in 2016. I'm like, I got to get that on my boat.
Right.
To be able to see something. And back then the clarity was terrible, but to be able to just see a potential grass bed that was sticking out further or some rocks or anything was a really big deal. And so I've been using 360 for a long time, since 2017. But the whole actual forward facing sonar, and I've always explained it as 360 is your floodlight, forward-facing sonar is the laser, right? Like,
okay,
that's your floodlight to see everything around. But if you want to pinpoint something, you use forward-facing sonar. And it's I get everybody's argument on both sides.
Right.
So like I feel for everybody, and I don't have an opinion one way or the other. And I might be the only guy like that. I feel like there needs to be some type of limitations on stuff. The fact that we're seeing trolling motors, on the back of boats and so many transducers on the back of boats and stuff. I'm like, okay, I feel like at some point we need to draw the line, because I'm still young enough to remember being 18 and buying my first boat. I actually bought it at 17.
What did it have on it?
I had a 150. I had a 1982 Ranger 350V with a 150 Merc. And it had no carpet. And when you drove that thing, it was like a tornado. The dust was, dude. You had to wear goggles, not just glasses,
You look like you're skiing, huh?
You would be going 55 miles an hour, like that was max speed. But there was so much dust from having no carpet.
Right.
It was just all torn up in there. But anyway, it didn't matter. I bought it for $2,200, and I was on top of the world at 17.
I bet you was.
So anyway, I remember buying that. I remember knowing that it wasn't the nicest piece of equipment, and looking at how expensive the other stuff was. I was like, okay, we're going to get there, but I got to start with something. So there's still that too, right? Like I think people look at the pros all the time, and I was looking at the pros back then. I'm like, I want that. I know I can't have that yet,
right?
But I'm going to start with what I can start with. I'm going to be competitive with what I can get my hands on. And as I start to do well in tournaments, I'm going to start upgrading my boat, upgrading equipment, and getting better as I'm also climbing the ladder of, the tournament ladder of, team tournaments to back then Stren Series, which are Toyotas now, on and on and on. So I think you just have to buy with, you got to buy what you can afford. you got to do well with that and take that money. I always say, when you kick everybody's butt in the tournaments, take that money and either upgrade your equipment or go to the next level. And
you've got to be on top of the equipment part.
You do, yeah. And so my thought is just get what you can afford, and even if it's last year's forward facing, if that's what you can afford,
there's nothing wrong with that. It's a learning curve.
It is, and you're going to be comfortable with what you have. That's what I always tell people too. So you don't have to have $300 rods. If everything you have is a $100 rod, you're going to fish just fine with $100 rods because that's what you're comfortable with.
Right.
But if you start adding in $300 rods to your $100 rods, you're going to start wanting to pick up your $300 rods all the time.
Correct.
So it's just, being comfortable with what you can afford, getting used to that. And then when it's, when you've made enough money in tournaments and stuff or work, whatever, and you're ready to move up and get some nicer stuff, then do it.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Well, that's a good one.
I don't know if it's a good one or not, but that's my opinion. That's,
in other words, fish within your means.
I've always tried to say that. I feel like I have, right?
Mm.
And I think you've done it. I think you've been
man, I started fishing tournaments with my grandpa, who wasn't a bass fisherman. He was a truck driver. But he bought a little boat just so we could fish tournaments, and we were in a team tournament of 0 to 100 horsepower. Like, we were limited, because we had a 90. So we started in the smallest division,
Yeah, but you could smoke them with that 90.
At first we were getting our butt kicked, and my grandpa would never drive the boat, never run the trolling motor, and he would just let me do it from the very beginning. And the first year we got smoked. The next year I was working at a pumpkin patch making $5 an hour under the table.
Guys, y'all listen to this. This is great.
I was working at a pumpkin patch making $5 an hour under the table and picking Indian corn, gourds, and pumpkins. And I would ride my bike to that field from our house in California. And I remember my grandpa and I, the very first tournament the next year after our first year, I was 13. We won the tournament. We won $641. My grandpa gave me half. And I'm sitting there doing the math going, I got to work a lot of hours in the pumpkin patch to make this kind of money. So that's what really took fishing off for me, where I was like, yeah, this is the deal. I quit baseball, basketball, all that as soon as that happened.
Just went straight fishing.
I was all in at that point.
Really?
So, yeah. But, that everybody's got their story. That's mine. And anyway. I think we're down on time. He keeps raising his hands.
At least it's his first finger. So I am so glad that y'all took the time to stop by. Breanna, it's been a fantastic blessing to us to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And Justin, thank you for allowing her to come on the show and bring her. And it's great. Y'all don't know how much I am so proud of this right here.
Well, good. Well, thank you for having us. And
thank you so much.
We look forward to coming back. So
thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
You be good. Now, y'all, remember a lot of what he said. Y'all just hang in there, balance your lives, and everything's going to fall in place. And just remember, all things are through Christ. And y'all have a great day. Thanks a lot.